Good Morning Manitoba. It's the conversation we've been previewing all morning long. The man himself, Wab Kinew, joins us today to talk about the budget. What do you want Manitobans to know this morning?
Well, I want to share with your viewers that this year's budget has money to get shovels in the ground for the new emergency room at the Victoria Hospital this year. So this is one of the key election commitments we made on the way into government, a new emergency room for the most important hospital in South Winnipeg, serving fast-growing communities, Bridgewater, South Point, everyone in South Winnipeg. So we did staffing in our first year in government. We added hundreds of nurses, doctors, allied health professionals, and support workers. Now that we have more staff, we can move ahead with this new emergency room. So the budget today, budget 2025, has money to get shovels in the ground to build the new Victoria emergency room. And that's going to bring emergency medical services closer to home for so many Manitobans who live in the south side of Winnipeg, and it's going to help our overall healthcare system improve.
More specifically, for a rollout like that, what does it look like?
Well, we've been doing a lot of conversations. The health minister and I were at the Vic this past year listening to the frontline workers. We've obviously been asking Manitobans what their priority is. The new Vic ER is something that continues to rise to the top when we do our pre-budget consultations. So the next steps are we're going to be there at the Vic, circling back again with some of those frontline healthcare workers, saying as we move forward to get this construction project going, how do we make sure that your work site doesn't become a construction site? Like, how do we do this build at the same time that we're still providing medical care to people at the Victoria Hospital? So there's a bit more planning to do. Later this year, 2025, you're going to see the construction project begin, and then the healthcare services for South Winnipeg and the whole province start to take an important step towards where we want them to be.
When it comes to the economy, of course, everybody's got tariffs on their minds right now. What do you want Manitobans to know in regards with that? Because we know that you're having a conversation with the newly minted Prime Minister tomorrow.
Yeah, I think we're all paying so much attention to what's happening there. And right now we're fighting a tariff war on two fronts. We've got everything that's going on with Trump, but today the tariffs from China against our pork and canola, which is huge for Manitoba, they're in effect also. So we really have to have a strong plan. In today's budget, you basically have two budgets that we're bringing forward. We're bringing forward, here's our, if everything was on the up and up and no Trump tariffs and no Chinese tariffs on our ag sector, here's what the books are going to look like. And then we have that second contingency scenario. Let's say there's not a negotiation and we have to do even more to build up our province, to build Manitoba, to put people to work. Then we have that plan that we're ready to activate as well too. So budget 2025 actually has two budgets inside of it, a tale of two budgets, if you will.
When it comes to putting Manitoba at the forefront and in the conversation that you'll be having tomorrow with the Prime Minister, what does that look like?
Well, for our budget today, we're building the province. If there are these economic uncertainties, one of the best ways to help is to put people to work, people in hard hats and high-vis vests, building things like the new Victoria emergency room, building roads, building personal care homes and schools. There's going to be 11 schools in the budget today. And so these are really big priorities for us to move forward as a government. And we know that when we're talking to the federal Prime Minister, the main thing, Manitobans, I'm sure, as well as other Canadians, are going to be looking at this federal election thinking, who's the best person to take on Donald Trump? Represent Canada. But the thing we need as premiers of Manitoba and all the other provinces and territories is that clarity. Okay, if all the federal people are going to go out and campaign, who's holding down the fort? And of course, us premiers, we're willing to step up and provide that leadership role and just be a part of Team Canada.
Thank you, Premier Kinew. It's not every day you get to spend the morning here and in the Premier's office with some breaking news.